Good morning. I've now moved in to full-on drought grazing mode. We haven't had any rain for a while. Grass growth is slowing up pretty quickly now actually, and quality is definitely dropping. So I'm treating this stuff pretty carefully now. Hello Julia. And there isn't really a whole lot of rain in the forecast for the foreseeable future. So my cow grazing's going all right. I've got plenty of quality grass in front of them. The sheep grazing on the other hand, well, I feel like all the wheels falling off the wagon on that. But anyway, what I'm doing now, cattle tight and right up, skim grazing the grass, so leaving a hell of a lot behind and moving them quite quickly. That's on fields that I think will regrow if we don't have a lot of rain. Fields that I think will just die off, I think we'll just graze them really tight just to get the grass off them now, and utilise it the rest of the other fields. And then if we do have some rain, it'll all regrow anyway, so happy days. So despite all that doom and gloom, I do still have about a month of grazing on this sort of grass in front of me for the cattle, so we could be worse. So let's get them moved.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school, so you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
So as you can see, this is the sort of residual I'm leaving behind. Plenty of grass left, a nice mat trampled down, keeping the moisture in. And then this is what they're going into. There is no shortage of grass for this lot. They've been on this section of the field for 2 days now. I put them here over the weekend when I was busy, and then we were busy silage making yesterday, and I need to go back and move some bales today, so they will probably just stay on this for the rest of today, as there is still quite a lot of grass here. It won't hurt being taken down another 24 hours worth, and then tomorrow I'll get them moved. I'll go and show you. Whoop. On to here. So as you can see, they are not going hungry for a while. And they'll go around the rest of this field until they get to that side of this fence, because they've just started the field in here. And all of this lot, it's going to take them 20 days probably, by which time the field they've just come from, the first area they grazed, that would have had about 40-50 days rest, and they'll go back to there. So happy days with the cows at the moment. We are inundated with grass. It's a great place to be. But yeah, as of tomorrow, I'll get this lot back on daily moves once I've sorted all silage out, because I can tell you they're a lot happier when they're getting moved frequently, as opposed to being left 2 or 3 days. Now this is what I mean when I say the wheels have fallen off the wagon of the sheep grazing. They're in a jungle, so a lot of this grass has now gone to head, so obviously that's no good for sheep. So we've lost a bit of quality, but if you go down into the bottom of the sward, there's still nice clovers about, and there is still a bit of young grass. Can't see any vetches, they take them straight away when they come into a new paddock. But there is still bits of the herbal lay down in the bottom and a bit of fresh grass. So they're just going to have to stick with it. Now this year is the first year really lambs have figured out, there's one, how to go under the electric fence, which is a bit of a nuisance, I'm not going to lie. Oh, and there's one Cheviot. That I'm not too pleased about. It's a bit of a nuisance, but the joke's on them really, because they're going picking the freshest grass whilst all their mates are eating the sort of second grade stuff. So they'll probably end up on a plate for them. Again, the lambs I'm not too fussed about because they're going to go to market and they're not going to be here for the rest of their lives. But that Cheviot that's escaping, that's bad news, because potentially she's going to teach the other sheep to do what she's doing, and that will be an absolute nightmare. I suppose it doesn't help that this fence is shorting along the whole length of the boundary, and I can grab it whilst it's on, which does go to show the respect that the majority of the sheep have for the fence, to be fair. But I think I'm going to have a bit of a rethink about how I've set this field up, because we've still got 2 years of this field being in grass, so I can't be dealing with that for another 2 years. On the whole though, those lambs are doing all right off a purely forage based diet, so we're winning. I suppose topping it is a possibility to try and get some fresh grass growth, but you've got to weigh up then, that's a lot of diesel burning and a lot of time burning. Time is of the essence. I mean, diesel you can get as much as you like off, but it's expensive. Is it really worth it? I don't know. Now, I wouldn't normally sit and watch paint dry, but I think I'd rather do that than top pastures. I hate topping. Anyway, I don't have time to sit and watch paint dry, and I don't have time to top pastures. So just another one of those compromises we've got to make on a day-to-day basis, really. The good news is, in a couple of weeks, we'll have some nice, fresh silage aftermaths to graze. So we'll be back in the game. Happy days. We have also got a really nice bit of permanent pasture that's been rested since the end of March. So I think we'll get the sheep off that herbal lay once they get to the end of the field, onto that permanent pasture, move them around there for a couple of weeks, and then they can go on to the silage aftermath. So it should be okay. Now this little group is the one group we're creep feeding this year. This is because there's about 50 ewes in here, and they're all old girls, so they're all been culled out this year. So we're giving creep to the lambs, pushing them on. A combination of that and having old experienced mothers should mean they get to a marketable weight really quickly. That means we can get the lambs gone, get the ewes gone, get the mouths off the farm, save the grass, and also just keep a bit of cash flow ticking over. Now, I'm not a fan of creeping lambs, but to be fair, I think the right decision for this lot this year, especially now with the lack of rain we're having. So because we're creeping them, they're on this sort of lesser quality pasture. This is just permanent pasture. It's mainly just Yorkshire fog and rubbish like that. And we're grazing it quite hard and tight. So they're on like 5-day moves going around here, trying to limit the amount of grass they have, so the lambs go for the creep rather than the grass. Bit counterintuitive to what I'm trying to do across the farm, but in farming there's a lot of compromises, and chances are if you don't make compromises you're going to have a tricky time. And to be fair, they are still going onto plenty of grass. I think people who hardcore creep their lambs would say this is far too much. They would spend more time grazing the grass than they would be eating the creep, but it works quite well for us, so that's the main thing. But anyway, time to move this lot into there.
Yeah, no, no, yeah, no, no, yeah, no, no,
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. There's a bit of a contrast between me moaning a lot and also me being quite positive. So if you liked it, give it a like, subscribe, and tune in next time. Cheers.